want you to write this program, and then I will write the solution as well. But I will give you some time, 5 to 10 minutes only, to try to work on this example. I will
This
copy
lab
and
for
paste.
today?
Sorry?
Is
No,
this a
this is
lab for
not a
today?
lab. This is not a lab. This is just a practice question on what we have done previously. Anyone got this done? If you're done, start sharing your screen, okay?
Did you bring back the document?
Yeah, I will. You can see it now?
Yes.
Okay. The question is also on chat group. Like I have pasted the same on chat group too, in case.
Professor. I finished, but you disabled screen sharing.
Well, yeah, I'm just gonna have you. Okay, now you can share. Okay, so Yanhan, this is one way that is also correct. But the other way is like you create a local variable int a and int b and have the user to enter those local to enter int a and int b, okay, using a scanner class. Fine.
Um, could you repeat?
So in this program, you have to create a local variable which where the user input the values inside add method. Okay?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thank you. This is also correct, but I ask you something else.
Yes.
Anyone else is done? I can see Priya here. Priya, you're doing the same thing that Yen Han has done. I want another solution for this.
Professor, I'm not exactly. Let me share my screen. I have this, which is modified from before, but I'm not
Let me see.
sure if it's what you want.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Perfect.
Can I show you mine next? I think I got it.
Yes, Dominic, I can see your screen.
Is this okay?
Wait, it's not, I can't see it because of the low bandwidth. I think today it's a connection issue.
Okay. Uh,
Just a second, I cannot see anything
okay.
yet.
I'm gonna
If
try
it,
to.
yeah, you can try it again. If anyone else is there ready with their solution, please share.
Okay, now? Oh,
No,
wait.
Dominic, I cannot.
Crap. Uh,
Let me share my, can you see my screen right now?
okay.
You can see my screen?
Give me give me a moment. I'm just. Yeah, I do see it. I do see.
Okay. So let me stop sharing. Anyone else is ready with their solution? Now I can see. That's correct. Uh, uh-huh. No, 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 it's not 100% correct, Dominic.
I see.
I'm gonna write the solution. You can fix it. Okay. Okay, I hope you guys are working on it. But due to the limited time, I'm gonna write the solution. And please do check the solution on your side. So, as per the program, first of all, let me open up the Eclipse. And when I'm opening up the Eclipse today, I observed last time some students were still facing an issue how to create a project. So I'm gonna start from the beginning, what I taught in the first lecture. Go to files, go to Java project. I hope you guys are listening and following along with me. Writing the name of the project. For example, I'll write practice method practice. Fine. Make sure under the module it's unclicked and click on finish. So once you click the finish button on the package explorer, you will see the project is created. But now you have to create a class because this is an object oriented programming. You right click on that. You go to new, you go to class, you write the name lab 1 and then click on which method you want to create. It's public static void main. So this should be your setting every time you create a class. I'll wait for a few seconds in case somebody's trying with me. And once they are done, they can click on finish. So once you are done with finish, you will see this on your screen. We have to make sure the class name and the file name on the top should match each other. Okay, it should be similar. Fine. So after that, there is a line public static void main. All the programming you will write in this one. Okay, so now according to the program, it is asking me to write a method named add number. So I will write a method with the syntax public static void add number, opening and closing curly bracket. Now it's asking me to create a local variables and have the user to enter and ask the user for the number. So for that, I will write import java.util.scanner. I will create a variable scanner here inside my add number. So I will have the user to enter the first number, int num1 input dot next int system dot enter the second number, int num2. So num1 and num2 are the local variables that will be only used within a add number method. After that, I will have int sum num1 plus num2 and system.out.println the of two number is sum. In my main method, I will only call this method call add number. So this is called calling the method to add two numbers. And here is the definition defining a method to add two numbers. Whenever we call the method, it will look for the method definition and then print that statements, whatever is inside there. So now I run a program under my console. It asks me to enter first number. I'll write 12, second number 12. So total is 24. Okay, so that will be the output. Check this solution if you guys have any other. There are multiple solutions to this program, but this is the one I was asking for. I'm gonna copy and paste it on a chat group. Any questions, any concern, anyone with this? So I hope you guys have done it. So let me go back and then start with the lecture where we stopped last time. Okay. So we have talked about till calling a method, documenting methods. Methods should always be documented by writing the comments that appear just before the definition. The comments should provide a brief explanation of the method purpose. Documentation comment begin with backslash asterisk asterisk and end with asterisk and forward slash. Passing arguments to a methods. Values that are sent into the methods are called arguments. For example, in this system.out.println, println is a method and hello is the arguments that you are passing to the method. Next example, you have number assigned to integer.parseInt str. Str here is an argument that you are passing inside parseInt method so that it will convert the integer into a string. So arguments basically it's the value passed whenever you are calling a method. Fine. So the data type of an argument in the method call must corresponding to the declaration variable in the parentheses of the method declaration. Parameter is the variable that holds the value being passed into the method. So parameter is like a special variable which is defined in a method definition. By using the parameter variables in your method declaration, you can design your own method that accept the data that way. For example, I'll show you how that work. So how we work with the, so for example, I'll create a method public static void print message. Now inside that, I am passing a string message which is called a parameter or a variable. And then I'm having letting the user to print that message. Now this string message here, understand the concept. String message inside the method definition is called parameter. So parameter, fine. So this is called a parameters in a programming part that you can also pass the variables inside a method definition. Now, why we are using this? Now, when we call a method like a print message method, so in this, I can pass any string type value, which is called like hello world. This is my argument hello world is passed to the method print message. Okay, so this you will only pass if you are defining a parameter and it should be compatible with the data type. If this is a string data type, so you have to pass the value that is compatible with that data type. Okay, so next step, when you will run this program, so when you will run this program, it will print. There is an error. Let me see what's the error. Okay. So when I run, so it will print hello world. Fine. So that's how parameters and arguments work in a programming. with methods, you can again write print message. And what's going to happen if you will not pass any value? What do you think what will happen? It will generate an error. What is the type of error? Let's say see that the method prints message is in the type lab1 is not compatible for argument 0. So this is as of right now showing that the argument passed is 0. So that is not compatible. So you have to pass something like a string, fine, which will be in a opening and closing quotation mark. So I will run, and now it will pass as a string 12333. Okay, so that's the concept of arguments and parameters. So if you are passing only one parameter, you will pass only one argument. If you are passing multiple parameter, for example int age, now this is of integer type, and I will have the user to print the age as well. Print the age also. So now you see already it's an error. Why? Because again, we have to add the value of an age, maybe 12 or maybe here 22. So make sure it should be an integer data type, not any other data type. So run it, and now you can write 12, 13. Now that's the string, like the message, and that's the age. Then the string and the age. So that is called a parameters and arguments. Any questions, any concerns so far, anyone? So just remember, an argument is the value passed to the method when the method is called, and then parameters are the variables that receive the values. Okay, so now if I have to write this program again of add number, in this I can improvise it by changing everything and writing it. I'll delete this and I write here int a comma int b, int c assigned to a plus b, system.out.println print c. Here I can pass the number 12 and 13. That is another solution for add numbers, two numbers, by passing arguments and parameters. You can pass it multiple times, add number 200 or 100, whatever. So passing 5 to the display value method, in this int public static void display value int sum, int num, then system.out.println, the value is num, and then display value, that is calling a method with the value 5. So argument 5 is copied into the parameter variable num. When you pass an arguments to the method, be sure that the argument data type is compatible with the parameter variable data type. Java will automatically perform widening conversion by narrowing conversion will cause, but narrowing conversion will cause a compiler error. You can pass multiple arguments like public static void show sum, double num1, double num2, double sum assigned to num1 plus num2, and print the sum. So show sum when you're calling 5 comma 10, it's going to follow the order. 5 is for value argument 5 copied into num1 parameter. Argument 10 is copied into the num2 parameter. So it will follow the order for sure. In Java, all the arguments or primitive data type are passed by value, which means that only a copy of an argument value is passed into the parameter variable. Method parameter variables are separate and they are distinct from the arguments that are listed inside the parentheses of a method call. If a parameter variable is changed inside a method, it has no effect on the original argument. Passing object references to a method. When an object, such as like a string, is passed, it actually refers to the object that is passed. So we have public static void show length string str. So here show length name. So name is referred to the variable that is whatever value you're passing to that variable name, it is referred to that value. Strings are immutable, that means you cannot change it. So when we write str assigned to Joe, it is executed, it cannot change. So it create another object. You can provide a description of each parameter in your documentation commented by using @param tag. So the general format is tag in the method documentation comment must appear after the general description. More about the local variables. Local variables are the variables which are declared inside a method and is accessible to the statement outside the method. Different methods can have local variables with the same name because the method cannot see each other local variable. Local variables are not automatically initialized with the default value but must be given the values before they are being used. A method local variable exists only while the method is executing. When the method ends, local variables and the parameter variables are destroyed and any values that are stored in that is also lost. So for example, if you are creating here uh, public a method public static void display and then writing system.out.println x semicolon and you have declared int x assigned to 8 here. So why do you think there is an error? Anyone?
Um,
Why? Yeah.
Similar to the scanner class, the variable is initialized in a different method and called a local variable. Like it can't be called from the other method.
Yes. Is it Yenhon? And how about the other students? Are they present in the class or are they focusing or no? This is very important chapter. I hope you guys are learning it. What is the reason? I want everybody to type their answers on the chat group why you see an error. I want all the answers on the chat group from each and every one of you who's present in the class today. David, you're right. X is not defined inside the method. Dominic, that's not the correct one, but good job for trying, Charlie. X is not defined, that's correct. Jesus, no initialization, that's correct. Defining the X, there is no int X, that's correct. So please do participate in the class because this chapter is very important. Upcoming classes, we're going to use this concept everywhere now. Okay. So the reason for this, because X is a local variable to a main method. Okay, it is not defined inside here. So if I write x assigned to int x assigned to 8, now x is a local variable to display method. Okay, and now if I call the display method inside a main method, it will print me the value of x. So that is why local variables concept is very important. Now, if I have another method, static void display 2, so I can write here, do you think this will work or no? If I try to call this method here, display 2, do you think this program will work or no? Okay, good job. Yes, I need more participation. I see few of you have already participated with your answers. Yes, this will work. Why? Because over here, even though we have int x, so this is my local variable to a display to method. So my display method has nothing to do with display to method. Both of them have their own functionality. That's why we can have a same name for a local variables. Okay, so we can have a variable x inside display method, a variable x inside a display to method. Okay, so this program will definitely work. Thanks for your class participation. Okay. So you understood the concept of local variable. Next concept that we are going to talk about is returning a value from a method. So if you remember, initially we have talked about there are two types of method. So we have talked about there are two types of method. One is void method, which we have discussed in our class last time. Another one is value returning method. Fine. So value returning method is a method that send a value back to the part of the program that called it. So, in value returning method, we use return statement. So, method, they can receive data through parameters. Second, process the data. Third, return a result. Okay, so that is one of the example, like that is about a value returning method. Do remember that it is a method that send a value back to the part of the program that call it. It receive the data through parameters, process them, and return a result. In this we use a return statement, and the syntax to define value returning is public static return type name of method followed by parentheses, opening and closing curly bracket, and within that you will write body or set of statements. Fine. And then return expression or result followed by a semicolon with a return keyword, which is called a return statement. Fine. Now, this return type should be compatible with the return statement or the return expression. Okay. So, for example, you can create a method public static int add numbers, passing here int a, int b, opening and closing curly bracket, int sum assigned to a plus b. Now you will write return sum. You have to make sure that this return sum is compatible to this data type. Okay, so your sum should also be in an integer data type. Fine. So now when you call this method inside a main method, so you will write int result assigned to add number 6 comma 10 semicolon. This is your calling a method, and this is your defining a method with return value. Now the value, whatever value you will receive after adding, the two numbers will be stored inside a result variable. So you call a method and the output stored in a result variable. Fine. So we will talk on the slide how this actually work. One second. So whenever we define here public static int sum, that is int here is the return type. We are passing the two parameters int num1 and num2. We have int result assigned to num1 plus num2, return result. Now this result expression must be of same data type as a return type. The return statement calls the method to end the execution and and it return a value back to the statement that call the method. We have a total when we are calling a value. We have total assigned to some value 1, value 2. The value 1 is 20, value 2 is 40. So now this result will return the value 60 to a total variable whenever it is called. So that is the whole scenario of value returning method. Fine. So let's work on few more examples. One example we have seen. Let's do more example of value returning method. I will create here create a method square of a number. So this program find square of a number. Fine. So I'll create a method public static int square int num return num multiply by num. You can also return an expression. Okay, that is also correct way. Next step, you call a method int result square 5 system dot out dot println the square of 5 is result. So run a program. It's gonna print the square of 5 is 25. So that is one example. Now you write a method to find the maximum of two numbers. Okay. So start writing the program to find the larger number or the maximum of a two number using whatever we have learned so far. It's your turn. Make sure each and every one of you have to share your screen with me.
Professor, I finished.
Okay. That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Professor, can you check mine?
Okay. That's correct.
Professor, I'm sharing.
Okay. Okay.
Tim here.
Thank you.
Professor, I'm sharing my screen.
Isaac, thank you. I see most of you are working on it. Let me practice more examples with you. So you create here the method public static int max. That's the method name. Int a comma b. If a is greater than b, return a, else return b. So that
Professor, you're
was.
not showing your
Oh, I'm
screen.
so sorry. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's the method I created, and that is a public static int, which is the return type now, because we are gonna use a return statement, max int a comma b. If a is greater than b, return a, else return b. Fine. So you can write here int max value assigned to max, passing the two values 10 or 11 or whatever value you want to pass, and then system dot out the maximum of 10 and 11 20 is the max value. This is one way. The other way is you can also create, for example, int val1, which is 22, int val2, which is 33, then int, I'm just gonna make this a comment, max val1 comma val2, and then print the maximum value. Fine. So you don't have to write this. The maximum is max value, and then it will give you the result. Fine. So that is the solution for the previous question I asked. Other example is, it can also help to find the length of a string. So I'll create public static int string return str.length, and then inside the method here I'll write int length assigned to string length hello world, and then system, the length of the string is plus length, run a program and generate the output. So the length of string is 11, maximum number is 33, the square of 5 is 25. Okay, you can change, it's gonna also gonna calculate the characters. So if I add this, save it, run it, so it will increase the length of the string. Fine. So that is one other example. We can also write a program to calculate the Boolean or return the Boolean value. Okay. So to check whether the number is odd or even, check for odd or even number. We can write public static void. No, I'm going to change this. Boolean odd even int num, then return num modulus 2 equals 0, and in public static void main here I'm gonna create boolean is even odd, system print is 10 even or odd, so it's gonna return that value. Okay, so this is another example where we return where we are returning whether the number or check for even or odd using a boolean data type for a returning value. So the method will return true or false. So let's run. So this will return either true or false. Why? Because this is a boolean data type that return either true or false. So that's why it is checking for odd or even number and return true if it's even, false if it is odd. So let me copy this and paste the solution on a chat group for the students who are still trying. There are tons of examples you can practice, because the more you practice, more you will learn in programming. Okay, going back to a slide, let's finish this chapter. Returning a Boolean value, sometime we need to return the method to test the arguments for the validity and return true or false. So we write public static Boolean is valid, int number, Boolean status if number is greater than equal to 1 and less than equal to 100, the status is true, else the status is false, and then return a status. When we are writing the code in a main method, we write int value assigned to 20. If is valid value, the value is within the range, else it is without a out of a range. Now, this is valid is the method that you have created your calling with if statement. Next is returning a reference to a string object. You can also return public static string full name, string first, string last. Now the local variable name hold the reference to the object. So the return statement send a copy of the reference back to the statement call statement, and it is stored in the customer name. So John and Martin are the first and the second name. They are the reference to the object first and the second. It will return the address to the customer name. Solving a problems with the method, a large complex problems can be solved easily with the methods. If the method calls another method that has throw a clause in its header, then the method calling should have the same throw clause. We will not talk about this. We haven't done that, so we will work on this later. With this, we are done with this chapter. And from Zybooks, we have done. We are gonna come back to this topic called array parameters later on. I'm just gonna talk about the concept of method overloading. This is very important concept again. We're gonna use this concept in upcoming classes for objects and classes. So what is a method overloading? Sometime a program has two methods with same name but differing in the number or the types of parameter known as a method name. Overloading. So methods can have a same name, but the difference should be you have to pass either the parameters, number of parameters of different data type, at least one, or how many parameters you're passing. That is also very important. Okay, so you have public static void print date. So you are passing here int current day, current month, and the year. And then you have another method int print date same name, but in this case, at least one parameter is different. That is a string current month. So that is the concept of method overloading, that sometime in a program we can have two methods with the same name, but it should differ in the number or the types of parameters. So that is the concept of method overloading. Fine. So you pass the values in a different ways. So you pass here 30/7/2012 and then 30 July 2012. So the compiler determined which method to call based on the argument type. So print date has an argument all of integer type. So and the another one has at least one type which is a string type. Okay, so that is the concept of method overloading. So apart from that, whatever is related to arrays, I'm gonna assign you that part later on, once we will finish that topic. Once we'll start with chapter 5. So after this chapter we're gonna start with chapter 5, and after that I'm gonna have your first exam. Fine. In the previous class, I have mentioned your first exam as of right now is scheduled on this is your spring break. It's scheduled on April 7th. Okay. So your first exam is scheduled on April 7th during your class time. It's gonna be a paper-based exam. No laptop required, no cheat sheet. The topics for your exam one will be chapter 1, chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. All these topics, whatever we will cover before your spring break, will be a part of your exam one. Even if we start classes and objects, that won't be included in your first exam. Only the chapters till 6th, 1 till 6th will be included in your exam 1. Okay. And apart from that, today we are done with the method, and I am gonna publish your project 1 that will be due after the spring break. Okay. Project 1 will be based on chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So your project 1 should be done on, you have to do that project on Eclipse. It's not on Zybooks at all. It's Eclipse based. You have to submit it in .java file format. You even have to write a report. All the information about the project will be published soon, maybe during this weekend. Okay. So that's all. If you have any questions, any concerns, stay back. If no, then I'll see you next week on Tuesday online. Okay. All the classes as of right now will be online. We will meet in person on after a spring break. So the class on 17th and 24th will be online as well. Okay.
Professor, I have a question.
Yeah.
I probably missed it when you said it, but this Thursday is there class?
No Thursday classes as
Alright.
of right now. We are going fine with our syllabus. I don't want to rush it up. So no class on Thursdays as of right now.
Second question.
Mhm.
Did you say we had Zybooks homework?
Yes, this week I'm gonna publish. I'm gonna publish it right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Professor, did you take attendance? I think I might have missed
No,
it, but I was
no, Charlie, no attendance today.
okay. Thank you.
Professor, I was wondering about the exam, if it was going to be multiple choice or free response or.
Yeah, it's gonna be multiple choice and short descriptive, something similar to what you've been doing with the Zybooks.
All right, thank you.
Uh huh.